Right, it's a bank holiday Monday, so let's do something a bit different today. This is something I have opinions on, and they are quite complicated and hard to organise through. This is Captain America Truth. This is a hardcover collection, reprinting all 7 issues of the miniseries Truth. Red, white and black. Take this off. Other than that little chip there, looks quite nice, doesn't it? This is our credits page. This is our creative team. This came out in 2002. There are many things to discuss here, but the first one, the thing most people are going to have a problem with, well, the first thing, if they are not a racist who doesn't even bother looking at the comic out of racial hatred, it's the art, the artwork. The art is going to be off-putting to most people who only read mainstream comics. We have ridiculous cartoon art for the whole thing. I didn't want to condescend you, but the definition between comic book artist and cartoonist was something that developed over time. To begin with, in the golden age of comics, comic book artist and cartoonist were typically seen as the same thing. Now they are very distinctly two different things. This is a cartoonist. He mostly is known for comic strips. You probably know him from either inking an Avengers annual or from doing the interior artwork for Marvel Superheroes' official game adventure, The Last Resort. He later did an Elastic Man series for DC. I am not trying to defend the art. I am simply trying to explain it here. The idea is, I take it to be, the idea is that they thought the only way to really present the horrors of this story, the only way to make it palpable, was with a cartoonist's art. I would argue it has the reverse effect of actually feeling inappropriate and demeaning the seriousness of things. At the end of the day, I'm in the same camp as you. I don't really like it. I tried coming at it from other angles, and I just feel like it is a decision that is holding back the rawness or the nastiness of the story. Like with most art styles, as you read on, it starts to bother you less. But I do think it was an art choice that is only going to turn people off reading the series. We have 3 main characters in this. We were introduced to Isaiah Bradley in this opening scene. I'll come back to him next time we see him. This is set in the 40s as well, during World War II. That is important, very important. We have Maurice. He is an African-American man who comes from a rich family, but he is quite active and vocal about social issues. He doesn't really commit to the lifestyle of a rich African-American family like his parents have. They strive to be inoffensive and not rock the boat, whereas he is outspoken, and we see here he's been in a fight with a casual racist. The characters are set up quite well. Our writer isn't the worst. It's very easy to poo-poo this series because of the art, or because you haven't read it and you hate black people. But one of the reasons I've waited until now to actually talk about and review it was because I did want to reread it. I didn't want to talk broadly about it. Our third character is Sergeant Evans, a Korean military man who fought in the First War but was demoted. He was busted down to sergeant for, would you guess, reasons involving race and racism. That is this whole series in a nutshell. If you don't want to read a comic about race and racism, this isn't for you. If you don't want to hear me talk about a comic about race and racism, or if you think I am a racist just because you don't like me, didn't bother with this video either. Pearl Harbor happens, and the Sarge was about to shoot himself, but the news gives him new purpose. Meanwhile, Maurice is in court for sedition, and he's offered the chance to enlist as opposed to serving time. And our last character is Isaiah Bradley, who is a run-of-the-mill person. He's enlisted to serve his country. He has a pregnant wife. He is the straightforward character in the mix. This was the first of several series promoted by Marvel as you have to read this story because nothing will ever be the same again. They always had Jose Quesada variant covers for the first issue. Then 3 or 4 issues in, when nobody was actually reading them, you would come out and go, "No, guys, you really have to read this. It's going to change the Marvel Universe forever after." This didn't. Wolfman Origin didn't. The Secret Excellent Men team didn't. Winter Soldier didn't that much either. It also gives away the fucking story. At least you could argue this cover might be symbolic. This isn't telling you outright, there was a black Captain America, folks. Issue 2 shows us the miserable life of a black GI in the war. They were often segregated and grouped together and made to do the undesirable but not that important work. A lot of tasks involving excrement. We meet some more characters. They go nowhere. It's a shame. There's a whole squadron here. Isaiah, Maurice and the Sarge, they are there. And they are the only 3 that matter as characters. I would have liked to see at least some attempt made to flesh out some of the others. It lacks for it. And then they just vanish from the story eventually. We see Isaiah missing his wife. These are very broad character strokes as well. To say any of our 3 are that substantial as characters is an overstatement. Another criticism of the art is that you have to really pay attention to how they are drawn to be able to identify them. They are all given a visual tell, but it is easy to confuse Isaiah and Maurice. The only difference artistically is that Maurice has cheekbones and Isaiah does not. They also shave their heads soon, making it even harder to tell them apart. I feel a comic so much about racism and the abuse of black people shouldn't boast the problem that at times they all look the same. Maurice straight away gets into a fight with racist white soldiers. I can see a lot of people cringing at this, but people have been made to cringe at anything remotely politically charged nowadays. These parts at the camp with them in training, they are probably the best parts of the series. We start to develop their personalities and we see them interacting. Right, so then we get to our plot. All the black GIs are gathered together. The higher-ups want some of them to use as test subjects for experiments. And it's so classified and secretive that even the white commander is killed to cover it up. The camp is written out of history. What we have here, these experiments, it is taking some inspiration from the Tuskegee study and things like that. But they only need some of these soldiers, not all of them. So a large amount of them are gunned down and killed. Nobody can ever know about these experiments existing. Our trio of characters survived the cut, but maybe they would have preferred not to have. To go back quickly, we also meet another semi-important character to the story, the short-statured little weasel man with a Pinocchio nose. He is called Merit. He is a lackey of the evil top-secret brass, and we'll have to suffer more of them. The interior artwork might not be good, but some of the covers are decent pieces. Nice, bold, direct imagery. Back at home, their loved ones are informed that they all died in war. They were all killed in action. When what's actually happening is clandestine experimentation on them to create or recreate a super soldier. The soldiers, or should I say prisoners, they are treated callously and cruelly. Their survival isn't important. Results are. This guy, for example, he was one of the squad from before who were not fleshed out. He was deliberately injected with too much of the serum just to confirm that it definitely was too much. They already knew it was too much, but they wanted to double check. He dies. Some of the others respond to the serum more successfully, although with some deformity. Here we have 5 survivors. Sarge, Isaiah, I think that's meant to be Maurice, some other guy, and some other guy. They have received a super soldier syrup and they are now super strong. I feel like we skip over too much of this. That we don't even see our main characters either be injected or their transformation. It's a missing part of the story. And what little we do see underplays the horrors of what they are meant to have gone through here. A lot of it is unspoken. But yeah, the story, it misfires a lot. The art is making a mockery of the severity of it too. Important story beat. Back at home, Maurice's parents, Maurice's dad, deals with the news of his son's supposed death by shooting his wife and then himself. One of the super soldiers, dies here. It again lacks the punch it needs because unlike Isaiah, Maurice and the Sarge, he has not been set up or received much outside of additional dialogue. The most characterization he ever gets is in this scene where he is dying. It's fascinating how the story flubs a lot of what you would hope they would get right. The super soldiers, the 4 of them that are still alive, they are used in the war. We see them fight some Nazis here. They're quite violent as well, even Isaiah. And now you might have noticed we have 4 super soldiers, but only 3 of them are characters we know. So here comes a grenade, and that 4th soldier is done away with. So we're just down to 3, Isaiah, Maurice and the Sarge. Is this canon? Yes. Was it meant to be canon? No. Should it be canon? If it was going to be handled better, yes. This is happening after Pearl Harbor, after Steve Rogers became Captain America. We have Isaiah here reading a copy of Captain America Comics issue 1. This wasn't meant to be canon, but halfway in they changed their mind about that and decided to make it canon. And that's where we get very bad attempts to try to link it to canon. The 3 of them, the 3 surviving super soldiers, they are going to accompany Captain America on a strike on a German base or a concentration camp. It's not clear. Merit, the little bastard, mocks Maurice and informs him of his dad murdering his mum. Maurice lashes out and attacks Merit, and then, in his rage, fights Isaiah and Sarge, killing Sarge in his anger. Then Merit shoots Maurice with his sidearm. We don't see that though. Another fucking fumble of the series. having one of the central characters die off panel. The whole scene here, actually, is a bad scene. It should be one of the most powerful scenes of the series. It should be one of the best scenes of the series. But it's hard to follow because of the art. And it's just random slaughter. Maurice just goes insane and nuts. It's kinda a shit plot point. Now we only have Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah is our main character, and Captain America can't be asked showing up for this mission because it was a last minute rewrite of an issue that wasn't meant to feature Captain America, so he's not physically shown up. Isaiah Bradley carries out the mission by himself, having stolen a Captain America costume to wear. Captain America is mentioned on panel as existing before this. Steve Rogers' Captain America was meant to be going on this mission with Isaiah Bradley and the other super soldiers. Many awful writers who did not read this, but loved the idea, will repeatedly state that Isaiah Bradley was the original Captain America, that he was the first Captain America, that he came before Steve Rogers. It's all bullshit by lousy writers who haven't even bothered to read the comic that they are enthusiastically referring to. That is my main gripe with the idea, the writers that came after it. I think while the story here is mangled and it messes up its execution, I am completely fine with the idea and the retcon. I would even say it. On paper, if you read an accurate, detailed plot summary of this series, I would like the plot summary more than the comic itself. I think Isaiah Bradley is a decent character, or he could be. It is a decent idea. I would have liked to see more of his exploits as the secret Captain America. But obviously, he can only exist for a very finite amount of time in Universe, or it breaks the idea that he was top secret and classified and hidden from history. So here we have him attacking the Nazi base. Black Captain America. It's taken this long for me to really state what we have. That's the premise. There was a black Captain America. This here is his only mission. It also has some of the better art of the series, but by this point, it might be that you're just used to it, or you're developing Stockholm Syndrome. I don't think this writer, I don't think they are that interested in actually showing this. They don't want us to see Isaiah Bradley do superhero shit. They want us to instead focus on his suffering and the abuse that he was put through, even though the series doesn't have the balls to show a lot of that either. He's attacking the Germans. I think it's a concentration camp. You'll see why when we get to, hands down, the worst scene of the series. Isaiah is killing Nazis and destroying things. He's seen firsthand how bad and evil they are. His mission is to blow it all up. I don't like this issue much at all. It seems to take glee in its depiction of horrors. The same horrors that I felt sheepish about showing when it's done to black men. Okay, are you ready for the worst thing ever? Isaiah is eventually forced to hide. He's got to find cover. So he goes into a building and locks the door. Except it is a gas chamber filled with Jewish prisoners. He has locked himself in a gas chamber. And then we've got this horrible scene where the naked Jewish prisoners attack him before they are all gassed by the Nazis. Fucking deplorable. It's a disgusting scene, and I don't want to read too much into it, but maybe, I won't say it, but maybe there's something deeper going on with this story and its creators and people of the Jewish faith. Isaiah, with thanks to the super soldier syrup, survives the gassing, and now he is prisoner to the Nazis. Oh, and it is canon, because 5 issues in, suddenly out of nowhere, we have a framing sequence. This isn't a series of events that is happening. It is a story that Captain America is being told. Back in the war, we have an appearance of Hitler. And this is a strange thing to have to say, but I actually quite like how Hitler is written. Hitler brings out the worst in a lot of writers. They want to either write a parody, or they want to write Satan with a moustache. This Hitler, he isn't over the top, which is crazy to say in this story where everything else is over the top. They treat Hitler quite down to earth and seriously. Wonder if that has anything to do with something else. We also find out Merritt is still alive and a horrible cunt. He is in prison for war crimes and for being a nonce. He's also revealed as being there at Captain America's origin. He supposedly is the one who destroyed all the notes. Every attempt to link this to canon is quite badly done. The story gets worse and worse after Hitler. It becomes all about Captain America in the present day trying to uncover this mystery, and them nonsensically trying to explain how Captain America had never heard of this Isaiah Bradley before, but it wants to have its cake and eat it too. And so it turns out everyone but Captain America knows about Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley is a well-known bit of black culture. Everyone knows about the black Captain America and how he was hid from history. And the bits with Captain America are so bad. They make Captain America play with the idiot ball and uncover a mystery that's apparently not a mystery or even a secret. Captain America was just ignorant about it. And what we have with Captain America, it's not really much of a story. In the end, it's a nice ending. Isaiah Bradley is still alive, although the super soldier syrup, combined with imprisonment for stealing Captain America's costume, they have caused his mental ability to decline. He gets to meet Captain America. It's a happy ending. But the Isaiah Bradley character is retired straight off the bat with a mental impairment, so he can never do anything more as a character. We can never have that black Captain America. We've told all the story, and it's over now. It's kind of like saying no at improv. I don't like this. I think that is my take at the end. But if I came out the gates saying I don't like this, people would assume why, or they would think they know why. I don't like this comic. I like the idea and some of it, but I don't like what it is or how it was told here. This would be a fantastic one to remake somehow. Like if Marvel did animated movies like DC used to. I think you could get someone on board to take this framework and really give it the quality of life improvements it desperately needs. I know they did it in the movie things, but I didn't give a fuck and it's shit and it's all rubbish. The writer of this is dead, and I implied he might be anti-Semitic, so I'll slanderously give this a 7 thumbs up.